Hello, my name is Ricardo Santibáñez. My ID number is A01024087, and this is my second and final evidence for ecological processes for human development. In this second evidence, I will be analyzing the sustainability of a city and judging if it is a sustainable city or if it isn't. The city of my choice was Acapulco, which is located in the west coast of Mexico. And I'll be using the Mickey Mouse sustainability model, which includes the economy, society, and the environment, and how these three interact amongst each other. So let's start off by giving a little bit of context of the city as a whole. So Acapulco is famous for its beaches and warm weather, which ranges from 22.5 degrees Celsius to 31 degrees Celsius. It has a population of 810,669 people, and the main economic activities are tourism, agriculture, and fishing. And okay, now that we have given that basic description of the city, let's talk about the economy. So as I mentioned, the economy is mainly focused on tourism. So it is the consumption of the beaches and products within them, which in turn lead to pollution. These can either be by consumption of products, which the wrappers end up in the ocean, or by gasoline and all those things ending up in the ocean. And the other two main activities are agriculture and fishing, which are not done with a sustainable approach. Then let's move on to society. So let's start off by talking about schooling and education. The average years of schooling are 8.9, which is less than finishing middle school, so we can see that there are some deficiencies here. Also, Acapulco is the second municipality in the whole country with the largest illiterate population. So there are a lot of people that don't know how to read or write. And there is also no culture of sustainability within the people from Acapulco. This can be seen on how trash isn't separated, how it isn't recycled, or nothing is done to it. It's just thrown away. But mobility is the aspect in which Acapulco shines the most, because it has the Acabus, which is an affordable and somewhat ecological form of transportation that has been implemented to ease tourism and people's transportation. But sadly, there are also a lot of cars. There are approximately 183,712 cars, which is around 0.227 cars per person. And finally, let's talk about the environment. There is poor waste management. It is just thrown away. It isn't recycled, separated, or burned. There is also poor black water management. Last year, it was found out that it was being dumped to the sea. But this was quickly addressed because, since I mentioned, one of the main economic activities is tourism, and this would hurt tourism because people wouldn't want to go to a sea that has black waters in it. But talking about air quality, in 2019, an air quality station was installed, and it has shown regular air quality. The estimated CO2 produced by gasoline was of 903.86 kilograms of CO2 per person and of 732,731,282 kilograms of CO2 for the whole city. And the estimate of CO2 produced by electricity was of 1.5 metric tons of CO2 per person, which would be about 1,216,000 and 3.5 metric tons for the whole city in a year. So going back to the Mickey Mouse analysis, we can see that there is little progress for sustainable development right now, because since the economy is based on tourism, it isn't in need. People just go in there and go out, and that's their main economic activities. When the Blackwater news broke, it was quickly addressed, and the transportation is quite efficient, which makes sense. But the other areas, such as education, are lacking, because there is no high demand for a highly qualified workforce. And since the waste management doesn't affect hotel areas, it doesn't matter to them. Taking all of this into account, we can say that Acapulco is not a sustainable city. And following the 8-factor model we did in the Sustainable City as activity, if a city has 1 or 2 deficiencies, it would be on green. If it has 3 to 5 yellow and 6 to 8 red. We can say that it has poor waste management, not good education for all, no effective plans to reduce pollution, they're not migrating to sustainable fishing or agriculture. There's no plan to promote the 3 R's, not even garbage separation. And there's no plan to move to a solar energy. So we can see that it would be in a red area in a traffic light simile. So Acapulco is not a sustainable city. It is unsafe for its inhabitants. It has bad waste management. It doesn't have a well-educated population. The average years of schooling are less than even middle school. And it has a lot of illiterate people in it. It is highly dependent on tourism, and the other main activities are not done sustainably. And even though public transportation is fairly good, it can't make up for all the other unsustainable things the city does. So that's my analysis of this city. It is not a sustainable city. Thank you.